Sup guys, we are back again with our homie here who came in with a purple deck, so we know that purple best deck.
Purple best deck, let's go!
So we're gonna actually let you take it away and let's see what we got for his journey to the top spot of the top 3. So we want to get it started.
Yeah, so I played the only purple deck, Lilithmon, and anyone that says otherwise is wrong. So yeah, I think we've already, this is the tail end of BT05 for the most part, and I think even though this deck by itself might not be as relevant going forward, I think it's still kind of important to understand because people are taking it into things like Titanmon, Lilithmon, and BT6. I don't think that's the right way to go Titanmon personally. And then we've seen it pop up in even BT7 right at times, so it has staying power, and I think that understanding what this Yu-Gi-Oh deck does in Digimon is pretty important. So yeah, starting with the eggs, you play the 4 Demi-Meramon. So you only play 4 eggs because I haven't found a rookie that warrants a spot, or an egg that warrants a spot for the 5th spot. The only egg I was playing as the 5th spot was Xiaomon when I was playing it. But I've noticed that hitting Xiaomon early on is really bad because it puts you so far behind because you're not advancing your game state, you're not putting things in trash, you're not fixing your hand. And with this deck, you actually have a pretty good chance of bricking, and when you brick, you die. Especially against decks like Lord Nightmon or decks like Imperial Dramon that like to kill you off rip, Rookie Rush, like Shoutmon. There's a very low window, room for error when playing this deck, especially at a competitive level. So if you play this deck competitively, then you probably hate yourself. I do. So yeah, so that's the eggs. For the rookies, you are playing 4 copies of The Man Who Died for Your Sins, Gabumon. Gabumon is the best Digimon in the game because he was crucified and he paid for your sins. So, nah. Jokes aside, Gabumon's good because of his inheritable. It's pretty much the only thing going for him. But what's good about Gabumon is the fact that you throw, especially going first, you throw Gabumon over the Demi-Meramon under a blocker. Your opponent does whatever they want to do, and when you throw the Gabumon out with the Demi-Meramon under a blocker, that puts you 5 cards deeper into trash, and it fixes your hand. So you're pretty much halfway to loop at that point. Second rookie, we play for Labramon. I know it as Gabumon Jr. Because it doesn't have the inheritable, but on play, draw 1, trash 1. So again, fixes your hand, advances your game state, and cards like this in Gabumon are super important in Lilithmon because you're having to micromanage what's in your hand, what's on your field, and what's in your trash. And that's what makes the deck difficult, is figuring out what you need and how much to commit your plays by. Because realistically, you're only trying to survive at the very start. And then once you're set up, then you kill them. 3 rookies, 3 Gazimon. Memory blocker, it's good, and it's very important because you have decks like Lord Nightmon that love to play 2 Blinding Rays and then kill you with a Bushi Agumon from experience. It's depressing, and it's rough. I remember there was a match, actually, not this tournament, but just with friends, where my friend was playing Imperial, and he had 3 Hammer Sparks in his hand, and it was the best feeling of my life. And then for the last rookies, you play the 2 drops Demi-Devimon. This or Candlemon, it doesn't matter too much, they do the same thing. The only reason I play the Demi-Devimon is because I think it looks cool, and I don't think Candlemon looks intimidating. This guy's a sick mustache, so. Those are the rookies. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rookies. 13 is the evil number, so. For the Championes, you are playing 4 Meramon. Again, 1 drop or 1 evolution vanilla 4 is important because you're not really aiming to do anything with your 4s. You don't have a whole lot of 4s that are really impactful outside of your blockers. So Meramon's useful because you just get to keep, again, evolving, advancing your game state, drawing cards with Takumi in case you're bricking. And the 5 drop isn't all that bad to hard play. I mean, it's better than dropping 8, right, off of level 5. Next 4, you play the 4 1-cost Devimon blockers. Now, I'm noticing this recurring trend in the format where people are straying away from the 1-drop 5Ks because they die to Lord Nightmon, and they're right, that is true, they do die to Lord Nightmon, which is why you don't mind playing the 5K. Because in the early game, your things are gonna get killed either way. Like that is the objective of this deck, especially in turns 1 to like 3, is you just want your things to get killed to feel your trash. Otherwise, there have been points where things don't die at the very start, and you're just so up ahead on board advantage and or hand advantage that your trash is lacking, and at that point you're swinging into security, praying to God things die at that, right? So you don't mind things dying, especially considering that you actually want to go first and put the Gabumon and the Demimeramon under to have it die. So yeah. And then the last level 4s is you have the 2 Vilemon. Vilemon is still super important, again, because it's a 6 play and it dodges things like Shout and Lord Nightmon. I know I just went on a whole tangent of things, it's not that bad when things die, but the reason why Vilemon is good is because of the fact that they now have to commit that extra resource to get rid of the Vilemon, which is one less resource they could use to get rid of like your level 5 play or your Lilithmon play or your other level 6 play, whatever it is, right? A 2-drop's also cool because people are mean and they like to memory choke you. And you don't play, spoiler alert, you don't play any memory timers in this deck, and people kind of figure that out by like round 2. So they'll try to leave you at 1 all the time. So you just make the Vilemon and choke them back to 1 and see how they like it. That is the level 4s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Level 5s. I'm noticing that, especially when I like first built this deck for the format, I'm noticing that the biggest deviations and variations of Lilithmon are in their level 5s and what they decide to play, the ratios, how they decide to play it. And I guess I'll touch on it when I get there. So I'll present these 2 cards in conjunction. So I play 4 Lady Devimon.
That's Graceful Charity, right?
Graceful Charity. You'll notice this recurring thing in especially this deck where it just feels like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Should be played. And you can play Graceful Charity at 4. And you can play combo without getting Nibiru'd, and life is great.
Spoken from a former Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Spoken from a former Pendulum best deck player. So yeah, 4 Lady Devimon, and you play 3 Blackboard Realmon. I think Mario's game, or no, it's not Mario, it's the other guy. True Champion guy. True Champion guy.
True Champion guy.
True Champion guy really put it best when he said that these essentially help fix whatever is deficient in your game state currently. So if you need to fix your hand and get combo pieces, then you go Devi. If you need to build your board because you need bodies, you go Growl. But the reason why I play more Devis than Growls is the fact that all of your plays start from your hand. This isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have Scarm Effect, Graveyard, Search, Tour Guide. This is Digimon where trash is a resource, but it's not an active resource. It's not proactive, you know? So that's why I play more Devis. And then I honestly would play 4 Growls if I had the space, but I just don't. And I think I've seen people play 2 Growls, I've seen people play 1 Growls, and I think Growl is just way too important to the strategy because it allows you to kill people. It allows you to end games, right? And that's sick, you know? I'm sure I don't have to explain what Devi does. I'm sure all of you have heard Lady Devi effect off of Jax Raid, pop the rookie, or Lady Devi effect off of Mega Digimon Fusion, pop the Terriermon. And that's why these memory blocker level 3s aren't all that problematic, because you can just decide which option to play they're not blocking, use the Devimon effect, and then pop it. So that's the 5s, but I play one more 5 that I saved for last, and that's Chimeramon. And the reason I'm saving it for last is because I don't know if it's actually necessary. I've only really had Chimeramon come up once, and I was winning at that point because I had the loop anyway. So the mindset of this deck is pretty much loop or die. Like, for all the people that try to put in these other sub-strategies of, oh, like, in case the loop doesn't work, like, I can do this, I just don't believe in building suboptimally when your win condition is very clearly the loop. Because of a level 6 that I play, that I'm sure you guys can already figure out which one it is, Chimeramon also isn't all that important because it's not like you want to control when you're playing the loop. When you play the loop, ideally you just kill them, right? You either kill them this turn, or you kill them next turn when you loop and put up blockers so they can't kill you back because you're probably at 0 security because you're letting them trash your security anyway. And then you make the blockers, put the 5 on, and then kill them that turn with loop part 2. Those are the 5s. I believe that is 8 5s. For the 6s, so your supplementary mega is Anubismon. and I think it's the best mega for the deck. I know that in Asia, OCG land, Chaos Gallantmon was the popular option for this deck, and I think it's honestly just because it's new. Like, controlling the board is cool, but the 4 cost hurts a lot, especially when they're already choking you the entire game, and you just need to get into that Lilithmon at that point, right? And I think the biggest reason why Anubismon is great is because it gives things rush. So it turns your 1 turn, like your 2 turn kills into 1 turn kills. Because it's not like you're going to have to put up little guys and pray to God that they don't kill you. You just put up guys and kill them instead. Star of the deck. Everyone's favorite waifu, Lilithmon. Don't need to explain this card. If you're watching this video, you know what this card does. You know, you've seen what it's capable of. Yeah, no, just don't forget to resolve its effects. Like, don't forget to resolve the +2 memory thing. I know that, especially in later turns, it doesn't feel like it matters because you'll go to 9 memory like 3 times in a row. But it's about getting there and remembering to resolve your effects. It's also 11k, so it's not huge. And, yeah, I know, I forgot what I was going to say.
It's a good card.
Great card. So great, I borrowed 2 sets of it. Last is, I think, the Heart and Soul of the deck, actually, Omnimon Zord defeat. Even though people call it Lilith Loop, the loop part wouldn't be possible without defeat. No, I lied to you, it's not defeat, it's Zord. I'm just thinking of defeat because I'm trying to sell mine. Yeah, so Zwart is the Heart and Soul of the deck. If you guys come from Yu-Gi-Oh, I think it's a secondary extender, but it's such a good secondary extender that it's almost an engine piece, you know? It's great, it kills like literally everything except for Nidhoggmon, bane of my existence. Kills, I think Lord Nightmon is a 12 cost too, right? Is it not?
It's 13 cost.
Wow.
Just to counter.
Prejudice.
Just to counter.
It's a royal knight.
The forces of good prevail.
Lord Nightmon is not even good in the anime series.
Is it not? I mean, it is
Frontier.
Crusadermon. Yeah.
Original name.
But yeah, it kills most level 6s except for Lord Nightmon. Apparently, it just never came up for me because I just swing over it anyway. And then obviously the Nailbone effect. The Nailbone effect is great. Especially going forward into BT6 where you get Ginkakumon promote, so sometimes you don't even really need that Anubismon. Yeah, and it's an Omnimon. Omnimon's sick, man. Like, who doesn't like Omnimon?
A cool card.
Alright. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 megas? Megas? Yeah. No. Ultimate's level 5,
yeah. It's like 3 level 7s.
Alright, now for tamers and options. So, towards the tail end of this, I guess now the middle of the format because the tail end's coming up. But through the later progression of this format, you'll notice that Yellow Rookie Rush is one of the decks to beat. It's literally everywhere. Like, my girlfriend plays it, she doesn't play it. My dog plays it, he doesn't play it. So you need a way to get around that, and you also need a way to draw into your cards, because bricking is actually a problem. And I have this friend that I play against in the store championships, and he loves to brick me. Every single time we played, he's bricked me, and I cry internally. He's also a Lord Nightmon player, so Lord Nightmon players are evil and you shouldn't trust them. But conveniently, you have a tamer that does both for you, and it's Takumi Aiba. Pretty sure you guys know what this does. Again, it's a 2 cost, so it actually helps you memory choke too, which is great. I think this card is, I can't stress enough the importance of this card in Rookie Rush, because I think the only way you're winning the Rookie Rush matchup is if you open with the Rookie Blocker, and then a Takumi Aiba in your starting hand, and then by turn 2, you should have a second Takumi Aiba in your starting hand. That way, they cost 2 to swing into your guys, into your security, and you're blocking one of them. So every swing is another rookie they can't put on board.
It's nice to see it in security too.
It is nice to see it in security. Yeah, I think the biggest problem with this deck at the later end of the format is the fact that Rookie Rush largely feels kind of unbeatable because of how fast they jump you. You know, it's not like Imperial Dramon where you can just get away with like playing the one Takumi Aiba and you're fine with them killing your stuff. It's that Rookie Rush will literally put up like 3-4 rookies at a time, and then once they're at that point, your blocker doesn't even matter because they can just use spiraling, right? Broken card. Spiraling and then kill your blocker and then going after your security. So at that point, you're really only praying for a Jax raid. So yeah, Takumi Aiba is important. Play for. The other tamer that I was considering playing, and I've kind of gone back and forth on this, is the white Taimat, the Omnimon Double Breaker one. the memory effect is cool, and obviously it's helpful. But the reason why I ended up not playing it is because of the fact that I feel like where Tie and Mat is most useful is the Omnimon Double Breaker. And at that point, you probably have the loop going. So because the loop is your win condition, and if you get to the loop, you don't lose, having that double break isn't all that impactful because you can either kill them this turn with the Anubismon or kill them next turn off sheer advantage. But yeah, no, I just thought I'd bring that up in case anyone else wanted to play the, time out. And then the last cards are option cards. 4 Jax Raids, best card in the deck. Again, not much to be said. The security effect is absolute sack. The amount of times that this thing has saved me is hilarious. And I actually always play under the assumption that I have at least 1 Jax rated security. I know that that's kind of sacky, but you're playing 4 copies, so it's going to end up in security regardless, right? Like, it has to end up there. And the security effect's insane. It gives you 2 memory. Like, yeah, and especially in later turns where you have like 20, I've had 30 cards in trash at one point and you gain 3 memory. It's nutty.
It's a good feeling.
It's a great feeling. It's 3 Hammer Sparks.
In 1 card.
Yeah, I think that 4 is mandatory. I don't understand why people play 3. It's like playing 1 Lady Debug in Salamangreat. Why would you do that? But yeah, so 4 Jax Raids, and then the last 2 option cards I'm sure you guys can guess is Mega Digimon Fusion. This card should not have been printed, man. Like, this card is nuts. This card says free level 7. And the whole shuffling it back into the bottom of the deck, not shuffling, returning it back to the end of the deck at the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn doesn't even matter. And sometimes it actually works out to your advantage because decking out is a real concern for this deck. I would know, I've done it multiple times. Especially when you have like 3 Takumi Aibas, 4 Takumi Aibas on field and you're just trying to unbreak yourself. Yeah, getting to that level 7 for free and being able to swing with that to then nailbone the 2 back and then make the more Zords, like, it's nuts. The white option card, so that's also why Takumis are super important. And it's a 0 cost, and 0 cost things are great. And it also helps you play around the, again, as I mentioned, the memory blockers, right? Like the Gazimon in the mirror, the Terriermon, Gaussmon for some god-awful reason is a memory blocker, and then the Cutemon in yellow. So it helps you, it gives you the flexibility in your order of operations to out things. That is it.
So you're gonna look forward to the Eismon package coming next format?
I would look forward to the Beelstarmon package going forward if Bandai decides that we actually get to play BT6.
What would you say is the toughest matchup for this deck?
Oh, it's Rookie Rush easily.
Rookie Rush.
Yeah, yellow. Oh, yeah. I guess I'll go over matchups because it's a very big.
Sure.
It's a very big factor into playing with this deck. So I think yellow green Rookie Rush is the worst matchup by far. It's the matchup I see in my nightmares. I'm sure Pulsemon has crucified me 50 times in all of my dreams.
It's not fun.
Not fun. So it's pretty bad. And then I think that, oh yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, so in general, especially with Black Omni, the better, more popular black deck, it's great against Black Omni. Like, you have such a free time against Black Omni. Life is sick against Black Omni.
So 2-0, there's a free 2-0 right there.
But against the worst deck in the game, Diaboromon, that deck just flat counters this deck. It's actually disgusting. I remember on the second day of the store championships, oh my god, I had to play 2 Diaboromons, and by the end of the first Diaboromon matchup, I was incredibly tilted because 3 turns in a row, I get double ultimate flared, and then I get an Armageddonmon popped on me, and it was, oh my god, like, for Yu-Gi-Oh players, it's like getting Mystic Mine, Cosmic Cyclone, Mystic Mine, Cosmic Cyclone, Mystic Mine. Like, oh,
no,
life sucks.
Just getting my getting some flashbacks right there.
Yeah, no. So life's not great against Diaboromon, and then I think the most pertinent matchup that you'll have this format is Lord Knightmon. I honestly think it's not too far one end or the other. I'd say it's somewhere along like 55-45 for Lord Knight, and the reason for that is because Lord Knight loves to delete your stuff with DP depletion, and you love to get your stuff deleted. So it's, it's a friendship. But the reason why I give Lord Knight a bit of the advantage in that matchup is because of the fact that in the manner and the process of which they delete your stuff, they're also surmounting board advantage in which they can use to kill you because they're bodies, right? Otherwise, I feel like it's pretty even. You don't care about green in this deck, like honestly, except for when they Nidhogg your entire board. But if they Nidhogg you and it punishes you, then that means you were swinging a bit too early, which you could have just avoided with better gameplay. Shout is oddly a bad matchup in this deck, and Imperial because they're just so focused on killing you right away.
It's like harass security like pretty hard.
Yeah, so especially Shout now with the Delicate Plan that again the 2 cost negate all option cards.
Well, that's a 1 cost.
Is it 1 cost?
Yeah,
even
Delicate Plan
worse.
it's a 1 cost.
Thanks for making my day worse. Yeah, you'll notice that I think part of the reasons why people don't play Lilithmon a whole lot at this point in the format is because the deck is actually really difficult to play.
So you recommend this for beginners?
Oh yes, 10 out of 10 experience for anyone picking up this deck at the very start. Yeah, it's incredibly hard to play. I think it's really taxing to play too. So in a long 9-round tournament, if someone tops with Lilithmon, they're pretty much a god amongst men. I'm pretty sure they're like PhD level, like doctors going to Harvard, like neurosurgeons in training. Like these guys are brilliant, man. So yeah, so I touched up on difficulty, and then I think the matchups too across the board. This meta's flooded with really bad matchups, and that's something that I realized as this meta develops. Like your only good matchup is Black Omni, and that didn't come till like 2 days ago, pretty much. And everything else is either even or bad, so it's a struggle. Like I'm not gonna gas you and tell you that this deck is the best deck and like life is so great, and you can just win by looping. You can win by looping, but it's difficult because you're essentially running into a field full of mines when you're playing this deck. Yeah, no, that's the deck. Diaboromon's terrible. I hate Armageddonmon. Ban Ultimate Flare. Ban Blinding Ray. Ban Bushi. Yeah, nah, that's it.
Again, thank you very much for taking time of your day to come and show us what you got for Purple Lilith Loop. And again, road to 100 subscribers. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you again, and see you next time.